Now, these multi-party coalition governments are continuing to throw the running of South Africa's metros into disarray. The DA's Pule Letshwiti did not survive a third no-confidence motion last week in Johannesburg. Jama's Phapelo was voted in, and this morning he was sworn in as the new mayor of the city of gold. On this story is Pule Letshwiti-Jones joining us now live from Johannesburg. Good afternoon, Pule. Well, Mayor Phapelo sworn in. He's in the seat now, and a lot was said after he had been sworn in, a number of role players having a bit of a say about what they expect from the new mayor.
Yeah, definitely a lot are saying that they don't know who the new mayor is, particularly residents. They don't know what's going on in the city of Johannesburg. But all they're concerned about, Britain, is, of course, service delivery. They're hoping that the politicking and the jostling can come to an end and for the services to actually be, implemented to ensure that there's water, potholes are fixed, to ensure that there's electricity, amongst others as well. Phapelo, of course, ascending into this position with a very tough, challenge of having to resolve, particularly with the city's finances. I mean, we were told that the city has just close to about 700 million, which is, quite frankly speaking, not enough. And therefore, the ANC and, of course, Jama and other parties believe that they will be applying for the Development Bank South African loan, which is about to the tune of about 2 billion rand. You'd remember, this is the very same loan they rejected previously when the DA-led coalition government was in power. So it'll be interesting to see how things unfold. But of course, back to the residents, Britain, let's just take a listen to what some of them had to say early on in the streets of Johannesburg. The new mayor, do you think he'll do change?
Let us see. That's all.
Look, changing the mayors, it doesn't really mean that they are changing anything. We can put anybody in place as long as they are not doing what we need. Still, it's going to be the same.
I didn't even know there was a new mayor in town. Oh my God! I hope he brings change. And big ups to you, Mr. Mayor.
At the moment, I do not trust anything. But then I just hope he will do better, because I've lost faith in our leaders, to be honest.
Ke bona gore tla ba le tswela pele ka re ntho ngwe go lebeletse tšhelete go bereka tšhelete ntho e etang pele ke tšhelete jale ke yone e bolayang naga borena ka re go mono ga tsena go potso tšea tšhelete o itebeletse ena ga a lebelela setšhaba.
Well, those views are very clear there, Pule. It's mixed views, but some people say they don't know much. And only one viewer saying that we wish him well. Hopefully he will deliver. But Phapelo, I mean, he's the sole representative in the council of Jama, and he's come on that coalition where it looks like from the outside, the ANC, the likes of the ANC are very strong. So they'll be influencing his way forward.
Well, the ANC has actually denied, and Phapelo himself has denied, Britain, to say he's being a proxy of the coalition front as well. But of course, the ANC says this is part of the broader plan of coalitions having to work, and their stability is having to ensure proper governance in most of these metros. You remember yesterday the EFF said that they will be taking the speaker position, and the ANC will take chief whip position in the city of Ekurhuleni. In the city of Johannesburg, you've seen that Cope is heading the speaker position, while Phapelo will be the new mayor as well. But for a better perspective, let's speak to Dr. Chitanga, political analyst, joining me right now. Doc, thank you very much for speaking to us on eNCA this afternoon. Now, you've seen how the coalition dynamics are unfolding in the metros as well. Most importantly, what does this mean for the residents?
I think that the context of the political parties in South Africa and its local governance is reflected at national level is problematic with respect to the level and extent of polarization, particularly at this juncture, and personalization of these political parties. So there is no room for coalitions to craft alliances that are based on policy convergence. And because of that, you realize that for Johannesburg, and as we see with other local governance structures, there's a lot of instability in the coalitions. Political contestations that characterize elections then is translated into contesting the authority of whichever coalition is in power. These are imbalance, and obviously the personalization and deepened polarization it defeats the purpose of local governance, undermines police delivery, and I think it's going to be a long, medium to long-term problem until the current tenure of different parties or different coalitions is run out. I think the key issue is really the opportunity for political parties is to rethink the political system now and probably come up with very stable and predictable ways of ensuring that whichever coalition that is elected stays in power and continues to deliver based on the interests of the citizens of particular metros. I foresee that the instability will continue, unfortunately, and the common problems that you mentioned earlier, service delivery, roads, water, energy, cleanliness of the cities, the attention and energy of political actors will be focused on political gains more than on delivering on these key policy points. The idea of financing metros is going to be very difficult as long as they are unstable. They will not be in a position to attract new investment because such new investment will have to be based on solid policy goals and objectives. And I cannot see serious financiers wanting to come in without ensured stability and predictability, because then they lose their investment.
Well, also when you speak about that, I mean, going into just the political fragmentation we're seeing in the cities as well, would you say that this mayor that we're seeing right now is being used as a proxy to, pass the agendas of the big parties such as the ANC and the EFF? I mean, we're seeing what's happening in the Kurleni right now, where we're told we could possibly seeing the ICM being one of its leaders being elected as the mayor in the Kurleni as well, from a small party, from the Super 7 minority parties as well.
I wouldn't want to use the word proxy. I think that for the key power brokers, it is strategic to have a non-dominant figure and non-dominant party, because that would allow further negotiations. But the key individuals and their smaller parties who are then elected will have to be they need to have serious skills to keep the coalition together. So this is a personal trait. And for the seat of Johannesburg, I don't know. I can't say for sure that the new mayor has those skills. He will have to pass the test of time to see if he will be able to at least keep the coalition together to sustain the agenda. The second thing is the nature of these political coalitions is opportunistic, is deeply problematic. Maybe the starting point for the mayors from the political parties is to go onto policy issues and to consolidate from the time of their election on the basis of convergence on key policy areas which can become their minimum delivery points to drive the agenda of the coalition. And for me, such an approach, it would then entail that there are concessions from the different key or major power brokers, and they agree on particular goals, and then those set goals are going to be the minimum requirements or minimum terms upon which the agenda of the metros or particular metros, including the Johannesburg one, could be driven until the end of their tenure.
Dr. Chitanga, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, Redan, there's Dr. Chitanga as well, political analyst. They're saying, much more has to be done, especially with driving those goals which may speak to the city's challenges and not for political opportunistic games as well, which doesn't seem to benefit the residents in the city as well.